Yo everyone, what is going on? Welcome to the video, and today I'm going to be doing a full day of eating 1,500 calories, and I'm also going to be setting myself a protein goal of 150 grams. And I feel like I say this at the beginning of every video, but today's recipes are just so good, and I feel like a lot of people, or some people, might recognize the one I'm going to have for breakfast, so we shall see. And as well as that, I am also going to be touching on the topic of cardio and pretty much why, in my opinion, you shouldn't be heavily relying on it if your goal is to lose fat. But more on that later, because right now it is breakfast time and I am going to be having some peanut butter and jam French toast. And for any Americans watching this, which is like 30% of my total audience, I think, according to YouTube, we call jam what you call jelly. And we have another food that we call jelly, which is really similar to jam, but it's a lot firmer in texture. But yeah, I recently saw a video where Remington James made this, or James Remington, is it? Either way, it looked delicious, and I am going to put my own spin on it today. So I am going to start by adding 200 mils of egg whites to a bowl. I am going to crack in one egg, add some ground sweet cinnamon, about 5 mil of vanilla extract, and mix it all together. All right, next I'm gonna get some 60 calorie bread. The heel is my favorite slice, and I am going to dip it into the egg mix like so and transfer it to the pan. I'm gonna be having 2 slices. And I've learned this the hard way, but you do not want your pan to be too hot or else you will just immediately burn the shit out of your French toast. So I have the heat set on 5 and it goes up to 9. So it's just like a medium heat. Okay, let's flip these babies over. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so now that they are pretty firm on both sides, I'm going to add the rest of the egg mix to the pan. And I didn't do this at the beginning because 60 calorie bread is just so thin. So if I saturated it with the egg mix when it was soft at the beginning, it probably would have just fell to pieces. So yeah, I am hoping that the egg mix that I just added will form like an outer layer on the French toast. So it's going to be so thick and so fluffy. And while that is cooking away for the final few minutes, I'm going to add 10 grams of powdered peanut butter to a bowl, 5 grams of chocolate brownie whey protein, and I am going to mix it with some water. These look so good, so fluffy. I also have a weird little bit of leftover egg here. I don't really know where to put it. I don't think it fits. I think I'll just eat it. Alright, so I'm going to add my peanut butter and whey protein mix to the top, and I'm going to add 20 grams of this low sugar strawberry jam from the Skinny Food Company. You can definitely get it on their website, but I got mine in Holland and Barrett, and per 20 grams there is only 7 calories. Alright, so I think for the best experience possible here, I am going to fold. Ooh, will I eat it with my hands or will I cut it? This looks so juicy. Wow. I think let's go with the hands. A slightly messy experience, but so good. I actually have 150 grams of mixed berries over here as well, just to add a bit more health to the meal, more volume. It's gonna help keep me full as well. And I am interested to see how this little mix goes. I think it should be good. All right, this is pretty big. Okay, I think it tastes better with the berries. This is actually so good. Peanut butter and the jam go so well together. The berries obviously add that fruity, like desserty touch. And yeah, it really just feels like such a treat, even though the calories and macros are so good. Highly recommend. Alright, so I want to talk a little bit about cardio, but before I do, you know, we do all know that cardio is a really useful tool that helps you burn more calories on a daily basis or whenever you do it, and hence it will help speed up your fat loss. But you know, it's good to get different perspectives, so I want to come at it from a different angle today and show you why it might not be best to heavily rely on it on your fat loss journey. So I want to start by talking about the whole efficiency side of cardio, and to show you how inefficient it can be, I want to do an example. So let's just say you do cardio 3 times per week, and those cardio sessions consist of 30 minutes of fast walking on the treadmill, and in each session you burn 300 calories. So you burn a total of 900 calories across the whole week from these cardio sessions. But the first thing that is worth pointing out, and it's probably something that nobody thinks of, is that isn't an extra 900 calories burned, because we know that the human body burns calories doing absolutely nothing. You know, we all have a basal metabolic rate, so let's just say we sat down for those 90 minutes instead of going on the treadmill, we probably would have burned 100 calories anyway. So that 900 calories burned is probably an extra 800 calories burned-ish, and instead of spending, you know, an extra 1.5 hours in the gym every week on top of the exercise that you are already doing, something that you could do that will be a lot more efficient is simply just reduce your calories by just over 100 per day. And if you are someone who is already quite busy as it is, you know, maybe you work long hours, maybe you study hard, maybe you try and balance school with a part-time job, then you probably already find that it can be quite challenging to fit your weight sessions in as it is. So if you can save time by shaving like an hour and a half off your time in the gym each week by doing something as simple as, you know, having one less slice of toast for breakfast and maybe like a little bit less sauce with your dinner, that probably equals around 100 calories or more, then that is a trade-off that could be very, very worth it. But yeah, I'm just about to go get my hair cut and then have lunch, so I will talk about the one other main drawback of cardio in a bit. Okay, I am back in business and I'm going to be making some low-calorie, high-protein nachos. But when it comes to Mexican, I have to say that I am probably a bigger fan of fajitas. I love fajitas, get them all the time. I especially love when you can get like a fajita combo with like chicken and prawns and beef in the one, so good. But I do enjoy when someone else gets the nachos, so I can like pick a few, which is really annoying. I actually hate when people do that to me. But yeah, let's see what we can do. Alright, so I'm gonna start by adding 150 grams of 5% fat mince to a pan. That is gonna be followed by 100 grams of these frozen sliced mixed peppers and 100 grams of diced white onion. Then when everything is almost cooked, I am going to throw in my final few ingredients and let it simmer away for a few minutes. So I'm going to start by adding 30 grams of green and red jalapenos. I'm going to add some hot chili and sea salt, some smoked paprika, a little bit of cumin, this is going to be spicy, and also half a beef stock cube that I have mixed with a little bit of water. Oh, I am also going to add 30 grams of this 50% less fat cheese. And as the nacho mix is simmering away, I'm gonna cut up one of these kids wholemeal wraps. Only 121 calories per wrap, and I'm gonna cut it up like a pizza. Spray a Pyrex dish with some 1 calorie spray. Add my little chips to the dish. Give the tops a couple of sprays as well, and put them in the oven for a few minutes so they get nice and crispy. Okay, I am pretty goddamn happy with how this turned out. I also have my condiment of choice over here, 100 grams of hot salsa, only like 34 calories in 100 grams, which is so good. Salsa is like one of the best low-calorie sauces there is. Let's load this baby up. Looks really good. The chips are actually surprisingly sturdy. And I think the trick there is to spray the bottom and the top with the low-cal spray like I did, because it's gonna make both sides really crispy. And yeah, seeing as you have to like load 8 different chips, it kind of forces you to slow down with the meal and take your time, and that is gonna help you feel fuller, so it's actually good in that way. This is so good. Okay, so the next thing to consider when it comes to cardio is the effect that it can have on your performance and your recovery in the gym. Because let's just say, you know, each week you do a few HIIT sessions, whether it is sprints on the treadmill, it might be a boxing class, it could be a spin class. But that has the potential to take quite a large toll on your body, especially on top of the weight sessions that you are already doing, and hence it might negatively affect your progress. Because, you know, if you are doing 20-minute sprints the day before a leg session, let's just say, well, you are going to be going into that leg session with your legs fatigued, under-recovered, and your performance will suffer as a result. Or let's flip that around and say you have sprints programmed in the day after your leg session. Well, your legs are probably going to be trying to recover from what was a pretty intense leg session the day before, and all of a sudden they are getting hit with another stimulus. So that is going to slow down the recovery process, and hence when your next leg session comes around, they might not even be fully recovered by by then, and it's kind of like a vicious cycle. And you probably already know that as you progress further and further into a dieting phase or a fat loss phase, whatever you want to call it, it already becomes, you know, quite challenging to gain strength in the gym or even maintain your current strength. So if you're digging yourself an even bigger hole by adding in, you know, a lot of cardio on top of that, then it is pretty likely that your weight sessions are going to suffer and your gains are also going to suffer as a result in comparison to if you were doing a little less cardio. But yeah, I think right now I'm making cardio sound like the worst thing in the world, which is definitely not the case. But let's go have some dinner, and then after that I will explain what I recommend. Okay, so I'm going to be making some Hunter's chicken, and as well as being really tasty, this is actually so quick and so easy to make as well. It's going to take like no longer than 15 minutes, which is ideal because I'm very hungry. So I'm going to start by adding one fat ass chicken breast to a pan, and it's really important that you ask the butcher for the fat ass chicken breast. That was a joke, quite clearly a bad one, but yeah, that is 150 grams. And I am also going to add 200 grams of this stir fry vegetable mix to the pan. You get it in Tesco, and it only contains 54 calories per 100 grams, which is pretty decent. Then I'm going to add a very generous amount of this barbecue seasoning. Then I'm just going to let it slowly cook away for about 10-15 minutes, and it's important that you do it on quite a low heat, because if you are using a fat ass chicken breast like myself, you want to give the inside a chance to cook without burning the outside. And now that everything is almost ready to go, I am going to add 2 of these smoked Irish bacon medallions to the pan. And in total, 2 medallions contain just 77 calories and over 14 grams of protein. Such a good low calorie, high protein source. Then to top the chicken and the medallions, I'm going to be using 30 mils of this smoked pepper barbecue sauce. This isn't calorie friendly whatsoever, but it tastes so good. I got it from Super Value for those of you who live in Ireland, and in 30 mil there is 38 calories, which isn't too bad. And I'm also going to top it all off with 20 grams of 50% less fat cheese. And then we put it in the oven just for a few minutes to give the cheese an opportunity to melt. Okay, so I told you, really quick, really simple, and hopefully really tasty. This looks so juicy. That combo is just so good, so smoky. The barbecue seasoning is unreal. And the cheese, even though, you know, the meltability factor isn't as good as normal cheese, it still brings so much to the dish. Like, it's just so good. So yeah, if you are someone who kind of watches these videos all the time, but when it comes to making the things, you're like, meh, couldn't be arsed, this is your recipe. A recipe of the people. Alright, so let's wrap up this cardio discussion, and by pointing out the drawbacks, you know, I'm not saying that you shouldn't do cardio, because muscle growth and fat loss aside, it is still really, really good for you, great for your cardiovascular health, and whether you are cutting or bulking or whatever it is, I always recommend remaining active anyway. And also, everybody is going to be so different in how they respond to, you know, the balance between weights and cardio. So there really is so many things to consider. But from an efficiency and a recovery point of view, it probably is best to create most of your calorie deficit through your diet. And when it comes to exercise, you know, if your main goal is to maintain or gain as much muscle as possible whilst you're losing fat, then your weight sessions need to be the priority. And if you find that your cardio sessions are having a negative impact on your weight sessions, then you need to change something. Then I think you can think of cardio as something that you can depend maybe a little bit more on as you progress further into your fat loss phase. So at the beginning, you might do the bare minimum, maybe 1 or 2 cardio sessions per week, hit or list, whatever you want. You might even set yourself a step goal, but then as you progress further and further into your diet and maybe your progress begins to slow down a little bit, you could look at introducing more. So you might do an extra cardio session per week, or you might increase your step goal that bit further. So I kind of like to think of it as something that is going to complement your calorie deficit, and it's not the main tool that you are using, but it is a tool that you can depend a little bit more on as you progress further and further into your fat loss phase. Alright. Hello. Me and Rach do this thing where whenever we see each other, we say 3 really nice things about each other. You go first. You go first. We don't really do that. We are just over in Say Chic HQ, which is Rachel's new online clothing and accessories boutique. We launched just a few days ago, and Rach is already flat out doing orders. Show us the magic, Rach.
Oh, wait for it.
Oh.
These are the magic touch.
Little Love Heart sweets. Very nice touch. Buzz, show us your trick.
Sit. Pop. Pop.
Yay. Do you have any tricks, Rosie? Rosie? Oh yeah, that's a great one. Alright, so me and Rach are just chilling out, about to watch some Matt Does Fitness probably, and to cap off today's full day of eating, I'm going to be having 30 grams of these sour cream and onion pop-outs that you get from Aldi. So I have 30 grams weighed out here, and even though these aren't as voluminous as the likes of popcorn, let's just say they are still just so good, so, you know, I don't really care. And they actually have a barbecue version as well, if that is more your vibe. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap the video up there, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, make sure you give the video a big thumbs up. Make sure you drop a comment below and let me know, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Honestly, every thumbs up, every comment, and every time someone presses the subscribe button goes a long way. So even if you could do just one of those 3 things, as I say all of the time, it really does help a lot. Yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye from me and Rosie and Rach, and I will see you next week.